Hi, everybody. This is Rhonda Cobb, the Money Coach. And we have such a special guest today. I know that you are going to love this show. All the way from the Netherlands today, we have Mr. John Williams. He's a leadership consultant and a best selling author. He's a seasoned project leader with decades of experience and more than 100 successful major projects under his belt. And he is so brave, he even admits there were a couple failures along the way, too. But he's gained such a great reputation of being a pragmatic leader and putting the human factor at the core of his undertakings. And so he's going to explain to us today how we can do the same thing using his signature pragmatic leadership formula. And it is now the foundation of the international #1 bestseller book, Team Performance on Fire. So, without further ado, we would like to welcome you to the show, John Williams. How are you today?
Hello, Rhonda. It's an honor to be on your show. I'm fine over here in Holland. Everything is going fine. So I'm very happy to be on your show.
Oh, awesome. It's so nice of you to join us. I know we've got a good time zone difference, but it's evening there and daytime here, so it worked out okay. We got it all done.
It's a wonderful time.
Awesome. I am so glad. When you had the offer and we could get the preview of the book on Amazon on Nimble, I actually downloaded Nimble. I never had it before, so that I could get the book. Like, I'm such a cheapskate money coach. I actually got the book for what, 99 cents or something. I don't know. It was incredibly, insanely reasonable. But it's so cool. And I was just like, I got to get John on the show so he can tell people how to improve their leadership style. And in my opinion, as a business person and a money coach, when you improve your leadership style and your team comes together more cohesively, you cannot help but positively impact the entire organization, including your profitability. Now, set me straight. Was that straight, John, or did I miss it by a bit?
No, that's exactly what it's all about. We can make this a very short interview because the key word here, or the key phrase here, is apply the human factor. And that's all what my leadership approach is about. Uh, I've spent a few decades, in project management and in business management, and what I saw that, these days we are talking about a project manager, and the thing is, in this age of IT, that IT is a blessing but also a curse, because it gives us all kinds of data that we can use, and the managers now have become like a kind of a bookkeeper. So they are managing with a data factor, and I'm saying, all this data, of course you need it. You need the facts and figures, but that's above the surface. But under the surface, who is making sure that you get these facts and figures? Those are the human beings, or are the people that are doing the work. And as long as the people are doing the work, I'm not talking about the far future and where we have all kinds of robots and things like that. But as long as human beings are doing the work, they are the primary asset that you have to take care of. Hence, the human factor instead of a data factor. So don't talk about a project or a business manager, but talk about a project or business leader. Because a manager is able to go and get things managed, but a leader will manage his people or her people.
I think that is so true. And over the years, I think I had some of the same experiences you did as I went through my different, jobs and promotions and, you know, moving into management and
Yeah,
leadership roles and finding that people don't respond to being managed.
exactly.
People respond to being led.
Yeah.
And it harkens back to I had a boss at one point in time. He actually was the owner of the company, John, and
Hmm.
he was very idiosyncratic. And he could not stand to see a desk with paper on it at the
Yeah.
end of the day. So
Mm.
after everyone had gone home, he would come to the building, and if there was paper on your desk, he would have a fit and he would write on it with a Sharpie
Yeah.
and ruin whatever work you'd left lined up for the next morning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he did this, and I had one guy that was the exact diametric opposite.
Mm.
He had these stacks of paper, and that was how he worked. But if you asked him for an invoice from 1999, he would go down the stack of paper with his fingers, lift
Yeah.
up where he wanted it, pull out the invoice he wanted, and he'd
Yeah.
nail it in one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the owner said, "You have to get rid of him. He's a slob."
Yeah.
I'm like, the slob knows all the computer programs of every machine we've got in the world, and he knows exactly which machine is where and
Yeah.
what program goes with it. I can't
Yeah.
get rid of him. He's the backbone of like half of my company.
Yeah.
And I'm the national sales manager. I'm responsible for all this stuff. So he says, "No, absolutely, you got to get rid of him." And I said, "So I just need to make the mess disappear, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, get rid of it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So his office cubby was on the main thoroughfare. The boss couldn't go anywhere in the building without going by that. So I
Yeah.
moved his cubby and I put him in a corner where nobody went by it.
Hmm.
Do you know it was over 6 months before the owner of the company realized I hadn't fired that guy?
Yeah. 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 I can understand that.
But I was like, but he's so necessary. I can't fire him. He was like my best guy. I was like, nope, not firing him. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll make the mess disappear, but I'm not getting rid of
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very understandable. I can
So
relate to that.
tell us about the pragmatic leadership formula so people understand what they um, have to look forward to when they get your book, Team Performance on Fire.
Oh, okay. Well, you see, because of all the experience I had in the field and all the people I met, so I interviewed and I surveyed more than 100 of managers and in projects and other endeavors in business, because I wanted to see if I was right in what I was doing. Uh, Maybe before that, I should tell you a little anecdote. You see, the last 2 decades when I was being hired, and mostly I'm being hired for a project when it's failing or it has failed. And somehow they know how they can find me. And when I sit down and I talk with the sponsor, the one that's going to hire me, at a certain moment I say, you will, if you hire me, and you have to pay a high sum if you hire me, but the thing is I will not be doing anything. I don't even need an office. And then I pause, look at the reaction. How the hell you mean you're not doing anything? I say, because I don't know your business. Your people know your business. So if you hire me, my job will be to make sure that your people are doing the right things at the right time, and and that's it. So I have to be with the people. I have to be with my team, with my stakeholders, because they are doing the job. They know what's going on. I'm just leading them in the right direction that they can do and make sure that they have everything they need that they can do their own job. And then I tell them, that's one thing I'm known for. I will give you a deadline and I will keep that deadline. And if I don't make it on that deadline or before, you don't have to pay me.
Wow. And then do they say, "Wow, okay."
Yes, when I say you don't have to pay me if I don't make the deadline, then they're over the bridge.
I bet they are. It is so important to be the certain
Yeah,
that you're going to work. And
yes,
so,
it's just because I believe in the fact, and I've proven it every time again, you can plan success. And that brings me to the four pillars that I address in the book. And that's an easier way of explaining the whole formula. And you have to think like you have a kind of a rocket, like the Apollo, and under the rocket, under the plane, as you speak, you have these three tanks of fuel. So think that I will make sure that you become a performance rocketeer, and you will do that because you will command with your mindset, and you will fuel with grit, grip, and gear. And those are the four pillars. That's all you need. There's one condition, only one condition. You have to be open-minded enough that you will use a people-centered approach. So you will not be a kind of a spreadsheet manager, but you will be a people-centered leader. Does that make any sense?
yes. Now, for our leaders that are certainly at this moment in time so used to being the spreadsheet kind of a manager, and they're hearing people centered leader, and their knees are starting to shake,
Mm.
and they're thinking of switching their coffee for a more stronger beverage.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you say to them to get them out of their comfort zone and, quite frankly, out from behind their computer so that they can embrace being a people centered leader? How do you get them from behind the computer to in front of it?
I like that question. I like that question. Here is where these four pillars they come into play. It all starts with your mindset. You have to get your mindset in success mode. I explained that in the book extensively. And it starts with indeed realizing the difference between a manager and a leader. And the whole mindset orientation. You see, everybody knows if you start any endeavor or any project, anything in life really, you will meet obstacles. So if you know that you will meet obstacles and you put your mindset uh, in the waiting mode, where are those obstacles? I know they're coming, so I'm waiting for them. You're already in a negative mindset. But if you put yourself in a success, you put your mindset in a success mode, then you're looking beyond those obstacles. Those obstacles are not problems anymore. They are a kind of a challenges, and that has a more positive ring to it. So your mindset is the most important of the four of my pillars. Once you have that, you know, then when you come and you meet your people that have to work with you, your team and your other stakeholders, they can see it in your body language. They can see it in your eyes, in the expression on your face that you know what you're doing. And so you ray out success. And once you have that, it's much easier to get all the trust you need and all the belief you need in doing the job well, because they know this is someone that's going to put us on the road of doing the right things. We know how